Andy!
Happy birthday, Andy!
I'm Andy's friend Tim.
And I'm Andy's friend Fangding.
And we've lived in Taiwan a long time. And we've been married for 22 years. That's a long time.
Very long time.
Andy's 50. I'm 50.
He's 50 first, then it's your turn.
Yeah. And now we'd like to show you around our beautiful new home. We just had the roof done. Here's our beautiful lawn and our beautiful fish pond. I first met Andy in 1982, it must have been, so we've known each other for 30 years. That's a long time and a lot of memories, too many for one short video. So what I decided to do is choose some of the most unforgettable adventures in our long friendship. So here you go, Andy old chum. Here is 5 unforgettable episodes in the lives of Tim and Andy. When Andy and I first met, we were 2 grubby urchins newly arrived in London, looking for a place to live. We found some very salubrious accommodation in Bethnal Green at Wilmot Street, where we were the most stylish squatters in town. And from those early days, Andy started to procure his furniture from only the most fashionable suppliers. Interior design was positively avant-garde. Toilet facilities were second to none. And who needed a bath when you could hire one and bathe in a tub the size of a small swimming pool? Yes, it was a modest start, but both of us were gazing at the stars. Andy was a student at North East London Poly, and I was working as a kitchen porter. Sunday mornings were spent at Brick Lane Market with cream cheese bagels for breakfast, before fighting with crowds of housewives over packs of 50 frozen Findus crispy pancakes out of the back of a lorry. Yes, it was the Melpak man. It wasn't long before we were moving up in the world to Victoria Park, Hackney, and the luxury apartments of Banbury House. Hot and cold running water. To guard our property, we even installed the best security system that money could buy. Our cat, Buffy. We had exotic neighbours, including a Japanese ninja who starred with me in the martial arts epic Shaolin Survivor, shot by Andy and Chris on video in the Victoria Park playground. Andy was starting his career in media and I was working in an old people's home. Our careers were taking off. We went on mad cycling trips to Devon with Andy, Chris, Ruth and John bombing down hillside roads like meteors and me following a mile behind with my brakes screaming. Perhaps the best part of living in Banbury House were the parties. We had the best parties in London, no contest. I always remember during one big shindig when I went to look for Andy. I opened the door to his bedroom to find a whole separate party going on inside. It was like a can of worms in there. And there was Andy in his underpants swivelling back and forth on a skateboard. Through grinding teeth he exclaimed, "It's all going off in here." And it was. Andy's career was really taking off and I was teaching English in a school in Parsons Green, where I later met my wife, Fangding. Andy was working really hard and could usually be seen passed out on the sofa on return from work. Our flat survived an attempt to blow it up when a stoner friend of ours, Ernie, who was partial to the occasional herbal cigarette, accidentally blew up our gas heater and gutted the living room. We also went on holiday to Crete with Ernie and played a bit of a naughty prank on him. On a drinking spree one night, Ernie was in a bar chatting up a German girl and we left him to it. On walking back to our hostel, Andy and I were befriended by a stray dog we named Scabalopolis. We took Scabalopolis back to our hostel and tucked him up in Ernie's bed. Ernie returned in the wee small hours, having failed to pull the German bird. But little did he know he would have a new friend to get him through the night. "You bastards!" he yelled on discovering Scabalopolis in his bed, and we wet ourselves laughing. Years later, I would return from Taiwan to live with Andy and Beth in Malacca House. Andy very kindly, thank you mate, put me up while I studied at University of London. And we had a great time in those 2 happy years, with me cooking Chinese meals for Andy and Beth in our roach-infested kitchen, and the three of us drinking wine out on the balcony. And I was working as a human billboard trying to earn tuition fees while Andy's career was soaring. But we did have our accidents though. I managed to dislocate my own knee while doing kung fu, and Andy flew off his bike while riding drunk on a canal towpath, breaking his fall with his face. The two of us looked like we'd escaped from a war zone. And then there was the brilliant New Year's Eve at Bigbury-on-Sea. It was great to be all together with Rob, John, Kevin and Carol in that pub on the island. Do you remember when we all ran across the beach with all the fireworks going off and pushed each other into hedgerows? I'll never forget that. It was bonkers.
Hello Andy, this is John Lydon here, otherwise known to the hoi polloi as Johnny Rotten. I just came around to wish you a serene senility. Happy 50th Andy. Cheers.
Fang Ding and I flew back from Taiwan for the wedding of the century. We stayed at Andy and Beth's new London house for dress rehearsals. I've never seen Andy looking so dapper. When they chose Daniel Craig, they chose the wrong man, don't you think so, girls? Then we all stayed in that amazing pub in Ripon, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't remember much because we were all so smashed. But I do remember it being one of the most wonderful, funny times of my life. Everyone was there and the banter and the laughter was non-stop. And I do remember Andy fretting that events at the wedding would become drunk and disorderly, which was a lot of worrying in vain, really, because apart from someone pulling down a curtain, it all went swimmingly.
Hi, I'm Lou Ferrigno. You may remember me from 80s TV series, The Hulk. I'm here to wish you, Andy, a very happy birthday. Happy 50th, Andy. Hey, and don't make me Andy. You wouldn't let me when I'm Andy.
In November 2007, Andy emailed me saying he had a business trip to Shanghai, so we immediately hatched a plan for a grand reunion in Hong Kong. We stayed at the glamorous Mandarin Oriental Hotel on Islandside, and I devised a weekend full of surprises. The first surprise was not quite as lovely for Andy as I had expected. Little did I know that Andy detests even the thought of a massage. But I had booked some early massage mega sessions in the hotel spa. Andy faced it all with British fortitude though, even when we had to wear disposable paper underpants in preparation for the pummeling. I thought Andy came up trumps though, as his masseurs was delectable, while my male masseurs seemed strangely familiar. We travelled on a double-decker bus to Stanley Market, had a lunch overlooking the ocean. We visited some very hyperactive pandas, took a cable car over the islands, and in the evening we had a curry, then retired to a penthouse bar to get plastered and reminisce about old times. It was a real milestone meeting, the Hong Kong reunion. And thank you, Andy and Beth, for the lovely days we have spent together since that time, staying with you at Upper Cross. We've had so much fun and so many happy memories the past few years. We treasure them all. And now, it's time for Fang Ding and I to make a toast to the birthday boy. Ladies and gentlemen, pour yourselves out a drink, please.
Okay. Whoa! Hey, come here, get the glasses out. Whoa! Happy birthday, Andy! Hey! Happy birthday, mate! Happy birthday, mate! Happy birthday, Andy! Happy 50th! Oh, that was quick! That was a bit quicker than we thought. Whoa! Here we go! Yeah! Happy birthday! Happy birthday, mate! Happy birthday! Happy 50th! Come on!
Happy birthday!
Look at it! Hello, mate! Whoa! Love you, Andy! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Health, happiness, long life!
Yeah,
Happy hangovers!
50th birthday and now it's yours.
Happy hangovers,
Happy
mate!
birthday!
Happy birthday!